Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome. I'm joined by my good friend, Fiery. What's up, buddy?
How's it going, man?
Not too bad. So the deal with tonight is we're gonna have some other people comment on, the goings on in Israel and what's going on there. We're also going to play some of the political spin that I think's disgusting and shouldn't be here. We'll have some people popping in and out. Some people have, limited availability because they have their own shows and stuff like that. So we'll roll through with some people and talk about some different topics tonight. And the red one decided that he was going to be first up for the sacrificial lamb. So, but we'll say hello to everybody and we'll get right into it. So, Bad Desert, what's up, mate?
Hey, Desert.
Light Rain, hello. Missing ingredient for your salmon. Why is everybody eating and I'm not?
Because you're an hour ahead of us.
I haven't eaten though yet. Sage Warrior, hello.
Hey,
What's
Sage.
up, AP?
Hey, AP. Cheers.
Gene, good to see you. Good morning, Gemini. What's up, Alex? Linda, hello. Dazzer, you said something. Oh, yeah. No, like I said from the beginning, I've made the executive decision not to go that direction. I just don't think it's necessary. So, we are going to see some stuff that's questionable this afternoon, evening, but nothing like scrolling through Twitter, because that's been a nightmare.
Well, that will get you yeeted.
Oh yeah. Kitty, hello. What's up, Stingy? So that's what we got in the clubhouse right now. YouTube takes it down. It's all over Twitter. Yeah, exactly. So,
do I see a potato on the screen?
You do see a potato, a well done potato. So, in my opinion, this was when a crisis like this happens, and with the gravity and what could be potentially happening with this situation, you look for leaders that show strength. You look for people that show poise and have clear and concise language. We don't have any of that with this idiot. I don't want to go into a Biden bash because it's so easy to do. But I think this was disgusting and shows the situation that we're in the world that we're in, and part of the reason why, because whether we like it or not, whether we want it or not, America should lead. we've always led, and we've kind of put ourselves into that specific scenario where we are leaders. And to not have that, I feel like is wildly disgusting, and something that we should certainly hope to get back. Noise. I didn't eliminate Red. He just had something to do, but he told me about that in the beginning. So he'll be back in a moment. So I think that in times where we could use leadership, this was a sad, disgusting attempt at something other than leadership. And then on the flip side of that, you have all these politicians, political figures that are trying to gain political favor from what's happening here. The McCarthy's, the DeSantis, the things of that nature. And I also think that this is not the correct time to do that either. There is a time and a place to play your political gamesmanship, but this isn't it. This isn't it. We need true leadership, not rhetoric, not words. And yes, a vacuum in leadership is dangerous, and we certainly have a vacuum in leadership right now, to an unbelievable degree. So I know you're hoping for this big riving speech from President Joseph Biden. It's about 3 minutes long. No questions, no nothing. It's pretty terrible. So we'll watch this straight through, the whole 3 minutes, and then we'll see from there. Oh yeah, what the fuck did idiot have to say in his BS address to the nation over Israel? You wait and see. You wait and see.
Good afternoon. Today, the people of Israel are under attack, orchestrated by a terrorist organization, Hamas. In this moment of tragedy, I want to say to them and to the world and to terrorists everywhere that the United States stands with Israel. We will not ever fail to have their back. We'll make sure that they have the help their citizens need and they can continue to defend themselves. You know, the world's seen appalling images. Thousands of rockets in a space of hours raining down on Israeli cities. I got up this morning and started this at 7:30, 8 o'clock, my calls. Hamas terrorists crossing in Israel, killing not only Israeli soldiers, but Israeli civilians. In the street, in their homes, innocent people murdered, wounded, entire families taken hostage by Hamas. Just days after Israel marked the whole...
Okay, hang on. Sorry, I said that I was going to let it play through. I cannot. You are the president of the United States, and you didn't wake up until 8 o'clock this morning to start making calls? I haven't slept yet because I've been covering the damn thing. So I covered the first rocket at 2:30 in the morning all the way through to now. I've been paying attention to it. Hey, Shani. Right on time for a rant. So I've been paying attention to it, and you are the president of the United States, the leader of the free world, and you cannot be bothered to wake up to deal with the potential start of World War III. What the hell, man? Like, for real. It's high time that he's removed with the 25th Amendment. It's high time. He cannot do the job anymore. This isn't about politics. This isn't about him. This isn't about left versus right. This is about a man that cannot do his job anymore. This is about a man that cannot do his job anymore. Having the Secretary of State, that's Antony Blinken. Standing next to him doesn't make him look any better. He should have been able to stand on his own. I genuinely think Blinken was there because they didn't want him to fall over. You see Blinken start moving in off screen to your left. He starts slowly moving in as Biden starts grabbing for the podium. I think he's that unwell. Where they're concerned putting him out there on the world stage for a 3-minute press conference and have to put the Secretary of State next to him because they're that concerned about him looking so ridiculous. That's not okay. What's up, Jacob Castro over on Rumble? It's disgusting. Sorry, I'll let you have the other minute and a half of Biden.
Holiest of days in the Jewish calendar is unconscionable. You know, when I spoke with Prime Minister Netanyahu this morning, I told him the United States stands with the people of Israel in the face of these terrorist assaults. Israel has the right to defend itself and its people. Full stop. There's never justification for terrorist attacks. And my administration's support for Israel's security is rock solid and unwavering. Let me say this as clearly as I can. This is not a moment for any party hostile to Israel to exploit these attacks to seek advantage. The world is watching. I've also been in contact with the King of Jordan, spoken with members of Congress, directed my national security team to engage with their Israeli counterparts, military to military, intelligence to intelligence, diplomat to diplomat, to make sure Israel has what it needs. I've also directed my team to remain in constant contact with leaders throughout the region, including Egypt, Turkey, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Jordan, Oman, the UAE, as well as our European partners and the Palestinian Authority.
What's up, Beta?
It's also a terrible tragedy on a human level. It's hurting innocent people. Seeing the lives that have been broken by this, the families torn apart, it's heartbreaking. And Jill and I are praying for those families who've been impacted by this violence. We grieve with those who've lost their loved ones, lost a piece of their soul. We have hope for swift recovery for many who have been wounded. We're going to remain in close touch with Prime Minister. I personally am going to remain in close contact with Prime Minister Netanyahu as this situation continues to develop. And let there be no mistake, the United States stands with the state of Israel, just as we have from the moment the United States became the first nation to recognize Israel 11 minutes after its founding 75 years ago. Thank you very much.
Mr. President, was there an intelligence failure in the lead up to this attack?
Mr. President, can you tell us what Phoebe asked you specifically for support?
So there it is, the leader of the free world, the President of the United States of America, and that's his big speech. Most of it I couldn't understand. I really couldn't. I watched it 6 or 7 times at this point, so I'm capable of kind of putting some things together. But I don't know what he just said. And none of it was strength. None of it was words. And here we are again at the precipice, and the United States and the world is void of leadership. That's probably top 3 things that are most concerning to me off from this entire situation. Is we have an entire void of leadership with the President of the United States. He doesn't know what's going on. Exactly, Sage. I don't know. I would have had more respect for him if they would have sent out, Secretary of Defense or send out Blinken himself. I mean, I would have been okay with that, but just to see the mumbling incoherence of the man. Wonder where the UK will stand. RPM is a muzzy. I don't know. I haven't heard anything from the UK. I can look and see if I see anything, but it's hey, what's up, girl? He is just a piece of work. He's a piece of garbage. So here's some other things that are concerning why we're just on the board. And like I said, I think this turns into more a bigger conflict than just Israel. The United States is building up forces on the south of Japan. Right here is Taiwan. This little thing right here. This is China. We've seen a lot of C-130s. There's been some 135s, C-2s in there. We're seeing a lot of aircraft in south of Japan from the United States. Can only lead you to believe maybe one thing. And while we're taking a couple minutes here, we don't have a whole lot up over Europe. We have a Canadian bird. The U.S. is buzzing again, but still kind of light. We have our C-17s. We're getting a lot of these XXX call signs again. But relatively standard. I mean, there's not a whole lot going on. That's Mexico, U.S. military. So I'm not seeing anything crazy. Why don't we go to our land down under next? There's a DC-10. This would be interesting to see what's in Australia. So, a moderate load of planes. I wonder if it took until this afternoon until they were able to get him sufficiently on his feet, like energized, if you get my meaning. He should have spoken way earlier. I 100% agree. I 100% agree. So, I think it was... Our leadership is just gross. It's just gross at this point. I am going to... This is not graphic in nature. We couldn't identify if this young woman on the ground is deceased or not. It's really not about the young lady. It's about the words from Trey, who we've been following, who's been pretty credible in this whole thing. But just viewer discretion. There's no gore. There's just a young lady laying on the ground. So.
Massive rocket barrages into southern Israel right now. Hamas, the group in control of Gaza, has declared a formal operation against Israel.
Okay, so formal operation. So Hamas is formally declared war on Israel. This is, as of 4 minutes ago, from the same red alert. This seems to be the new strike positions. Several rocket barrages going. Yeah, her foot was moving, so. Red has not returned yet. He said he'd let me know. He has the link. I take it you're a Red friend. He told me he would have Red friends. He should be back anytime. So this is kind of the location we're looking at, rocket barrages. Again, to have so many rockets in, they have to be funded or at least backed by some bigger power. We think that power could be Russia, maybe Turkey. I mean, there could be several other candidates for that position. To show how nasty it's getting, this is a medical center, so a hospital. So medical center got hit by a direct impact from a rocket barrage. So pretty nasty. And then northern Gaza, they have more rocket strikes, more aerial targets. So this is just moments ago as well. So obviously more rockets coming in. More rockets lead to more casualties. Here's another map. So this is incredibly zoned in. Zarat is here. This is another strike map. So this dashed line is the Palestinian controlled territory. So they're striking very close to the border of the Palestinian in Israel. So that's where things kind of started to begin with. So here we have a Merkava Mark IV tank with Israeli Defense Force on the move in southern city of Sarat, where at least one Hamas terrorist is still missing. So again, they embedded deeply into the population and made it very difficult to find themselves unless they wanted to start doing things. So so we're seeing full out warfare. We're seeing tanks rolled into the streets. So it's very active there on the ground. It seems to me that they're starting to get a hold of things, but we'll see how that all shakes out. So I wanted to go into a couple different fiery reds.
Hey, Mighty.
What's up, buddy?
Thanks.
Oh, no worries, brother. So let's see.
So I missed what after you did after Biden's chat. I got yeeted completely from the channel for some reason for a minute.
Yeah. So we went into the new missile attacks, new missile barrage locations.
Okay.
And then full-scale retaliatory strikes. After a full-scale invasion, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu announced he would use any and all force needed to eliminate Hamas in a speech. We'll watch that speech in a minute. Netanyahu warned Gaza residents to get out now, signaling Israel would not be holding back and that the PM was ready to level Gaza, ensuring this never happens again. Murdering children and mothers in their homes, in their beds. It's an enemy that kidnaps elderly people, children, and young girls. We will fight them to the bitter end to avenge this black day they plotted for Israel and its people. We've seen now over 80,000 IDF reservists called up, including many elite units ready to go. So they seem to be taking back territory. Like they seem to be prepared now. We'll watch the Netanyahu speech here in just a second.
Well, I know they first morning they compared it to Pearl Harbor. Now they're saying it's their 9/11.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is probably there's probably some truth to that. I mean, it was kind of off left field and it was pretty damaging. So
yeah, it was brutal.
All right, so hang on. Trying to find an English translation for Netanyahu's speech.
Which is weird because he can speak English.
Right. Speech English. See if we can't find one. His speech was... Oh, this is translations, so... Thank you, Guardian. Don't strike me. It's worse than 9/11 in my opinion for what they're doing to the women and kids. Yes. I could see that's absolutely true as well. I guess that begs the question if this is. Damn it, Cheese. Where are you, Cheese? Why don't you come in? Talk with us.
Yeah, get on here, Cheese.
Yeah, Cheese. What the hell, Cheese? So here's. It has subtitles. So, citizens of Israel, we are at war. Not in an operation, but at war. This morning, Hamas launched a murderous surprise attack against the state of Israel. We've been in since the early morning hours. Yeah, he's talking fast.
Not to stereotype, but that does happen in the Middle East. That's just how it is.
Yeah.
Japan, too.
אני קורא בינתיים לכל אזרחי ישראל להישמע בקפדנות להנחיות הצבא, להנחיות פיקוד העורף. אנחנו במלחמה ואנחנו ננצח בה.
Okay, so that it was fairly short as well. Apparently we're not getting long, full-throated speeches from leaders. Here, this is what I'm going to do.
I was going to say, to be fair to Netanyahu, he was a little preoccupied at the moment he gave his speech. Biden was just asleep.
Right. So I'll go like half speed and I'll just translate it. So I'm going to turn to citizens of Israel. We are at war.
Potato's gonna potato.
Not in an operation, but at war. This morning, Hamas launched a murderous surprise attack against the state of Israel and its citizens. We have been in since the early morning hours. I convened the heads of the security establishment and ordered, first of all, to clear out the communities that have been infiltrated by the terrorists. This is currently being carried out. At the same time, I have ordered an extensive mobilization of reserves, and that we return fire of a magnitude that the enemy has... I missed some. The enemy will pay for unprecedented price. In the meantime, I call on the citizens of Israel to strictly adhere to the directives of the Army and the Home Front Command. We are at war, and we will win it. And that's the end. So yeah. Shut up, Bobby. I mean, hey, sup? No, you were right the first time. Shut up, Bobby. Things are going good for him, which is good to hear. He moved to Russia, and after some time moving around, he's focusing on his career. Very awesome guy. Well, that's good to hear, bud. But now you have no excuse. Get in here.
And sorry, I can't see the chat when I'm on StreamYard, so hello, chat.
Oh, no worries, buddy. No worries. So I wanted to go to... I thought this was just absolutely heartbreaking. Again, there's no gore, but it is via discretion. They did attack Palestine 3 months ago, and we're going to talk about that. So developing this young lady named Noah, yeah, was kidnapped by Hamas while she was partying in South Israel at a music festival for peace. This is heartbreaking. I'm praying for her safety. Nobody wins the war, not in Ukraine, not Israel. So this is a young lady that's in this notorious video. And again, there's no gore, there's no blood, but it is hard to watch. So. So they're just kidnapping people, and the unfortunate part is those people aren't going to come back. So.
And what do you think they do to them beforehand?
Oh, exactly. Especially the yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
The young ladies. They're not
Wood chipper goes burr.
Yep. What's up, Cheesy?
Hey, Cheese.
Are we? Pixar didn't happen. Anyways, prayers out to Ian Runkle and his dad in this mess also. Yeah, for sure. Hey, Leroy. They are.
Not that fast.
Yeah, I hear you, buddy.
Oh, perfect.
I think there was a photo of the German girl in the back of the truck. Yes, that's absolutely the German girl in the back of the truck. That just got very gruesome, and I certainly did not want to play that on stream. So,
no.
What's up, Cheesy? How you doing today, buddy?
I'm doing all right. You know, I was trying to say, I guess, my microphone wasn't set correctly, and I don't know why that was. That I was under the illusion that they were playing like patty cake.
Cheese, if you're talking, you're muted.
No, I can hear him.
Really?
You have me muted, guy?
I can't.
Well, I guess the question is, can the chat hear me?
Can chat hear Cheese? Hi, Eliza. How you doing? Let's see if chat can hear you. If not, I can pop up my...
About to say, I could hear me.
Oh, now I can.
All right,
right
there. We go. Yeah, Lane says they can hear. We got you. So sorry. Go ahead, Cheese.
No, I was just saying I was under the illusion they were playing patty cake with the girls they were kidnapping beforehand. But maybe you guys are right. Maybe they were doing a little naughty.
Have you ever seen Who Framed Roger Rabbit and Patty Cake?
Well, I guess that is the question. Who did frame Roger Rabbit? But well, there is definitely one case where, unfortunately, for the young lady, things didn't turn out too well. But I guess the question is, like, what are they trying to accomplish here? Like, are they trying to just keep kidnapping these young girls specifically, and then older women and stuff like that to have some form of leverage so they don't get bombed? But from what I've been seeing, it looks like they've not been very caring as to where the hostages are. They're still bombing pretty crazily throughout Gaza Strip.
Well, they said they know they're in the tunnels underneath. So I don't know if that makes a difference.
It could.
Could.
Or they could be lying.
Well, also, yes.
And then when they turn up, unalive, they can just be like, "Oh, look what these terrible, terrible people did to the, this." You know how war is.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, turning up unalive may not be the worst thing, which absolutely sucks.
I mean, I guess that could be a subjective thing,
Yes.
Maybe some people are like, "Oh, I'm so glad that I made it out of this situation," and then there's some are just like, "Why didn't I not do that?"
Well, no, I mean, if they're getting tortured and other things, or that's what's waiting for them.
Well, let me just respond to chat real quick. I've actually heard a rumor that Bobby is in fact muted and nobody can hear him. So,
ever. That's a true story. So I'm watching a video right now, which I will not play on stream. They kidnap an Israeli teen, put her in a vehicle, they take her back to Gaza, they violently 8-person grape in a gang setting, and then they shoot her in the middle of the street. That's what they're doing to the hostages.
Yeah.
So,
that is messed up. I don't care if it's war or anything. If you do that, crap, you're garbage.
Yeah, they're absolute animals.
Well, I'm trying to keep it tame and not get the channel yeeted or demonetized, but I'm trying to be nice.
Yeah, no, I got what you're saying. No, I mean, I'm not monetizing anything, so with this whole exchange, so go for it, because I'm already probably red before I even start. So
They're fucking monsters then.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is a Christian channel, sir.
Oh, suck my ass cheeks.
I are one,
like that.
but they're fucking monsters.
Oh, thank God. The president at 5:30 p.m. tweeted out the United States stands with the people of Israel. And we can understand that more.
The potato tweeted. That's like the hashtag bring back the girls from Obama's BS.
Well, I guess the irony behind that is that tweet went out as he was sitting. So take that as you will.
I could see that. So, yeah. Where was I at? So a couple other politicians that are trying to profit off from this horrific natured thing. Here's DeSantis. I've been criticized for saying that DeSantis has been very trying to capitalize off the situation. So
no, he is. And like I say, I love him as governor of Florida. I visit there once a year. I want him to stay governor of Florida, not president.
Yeah. What's up, Josh Chandler? Interesting to hear U.S. views on this, given most are probably clueless about what both sides have been doing for decades. No, and I think that's why it was important to have so many people put their input in tonight and have kind of an open forum, because I think it's really, really important for us to know what we don't know. Obviously, I think both sides, neither side is blameless here. The Palestinians have done some pretty terrible things. The Israelis have done terrible things as early as a week ago to Palestinian occupied individuals. So I think it's interesting to see.
I would say it was interesting. There was a
What's up, Levy?
Sort of a trend that was trying to start going, but it got stopped pretty quickly, where it was most likely, let's be honest, it was most likely bots, Israeli intelligence service, that were pushing this idea that it was an unprovoked attack, which is, for anybody who actually understands the situation there, that couldn't be further from the truth. But then real accounts were coming out and be like, hey, like, using the word unprovoked is just completely wrong,
right,
in this circumstance. Right. So I would say there's definitely a lot of people that have absolutely no idea what's going on there, but there's also a lot of people who do in the United States. But it seems to be down that sort of line, like people who were very pro-Ukraine, people who didn't care. It seems to be the same here. Pro-Ukrainians tend to be very pro-Israel in this case, which is kind of weird. But
I'm actually one of the weird ones, because I am pro-Israel in this case, but I'm definitely not pro-Ukraine.
Yeah, there's obvious caveats, but like trend-wise, it seems to be that's the going thing. Whatever the government wants you to think, there's a huge amount of people that are going to think exactly what the government wants you to think.
And I'm not going by the government. I'll flat out state I am biased towards Israel as an evangelical Christian. And yes, I know how they sometimes treat Christians, but I, based on the Bible, believe they are a chosen people of God. So I'm admitting my bias here.
Yeah. And we all have different biases in different places where we come from and different life experiences that get us to where we're at. I want to address something from Aaron, aka Matt. I disagree with the capitalizing framing if they were asked about it, shouldn't politicians criticize these terrorist attacks? You should, but we'll get to Congressman Kevin McCarthy, and he speaks directly of if he still had a seat, if he was still the Speaker of the House, this would be different. That's what I'm talking about. The people that were really disgusting with it.
Yeah, just personal gain crap.
Right.
Well, I get where people are coming with this, but you gotta understand this. If you take it from a holistic view, this really wasn't a terrorist attack. This was sort of a revenge attack. It was what's the word I'm looking for?
Provocation.
It was a reaction to provocation from the summer.
Yeah,
right.
Most people don't know what the death count is or was before today of Israeli civilians. And what it was from this year alone was 200. So the Israelis had killed 200 Palestinian civilians. In some cases, they weren't civilians. I don't know what that number would be, but for the most part, they've killed about 200 Palestinians this year alone. Up until now, I'm sure the number is much higher after today, but
it's going to be a lot higher now.
Nobody ever takes that sort of into consideration. So, I mean, you can disagree with what both sides are doing, but like to say
definitely
this was an outright terrorist attack, that's just absolutely false.
Well, the part I can't stand is they went into just normal towns and took civilians hostage, and it was like I told Mighty earlier, it was like watching Red Dawn in real life.
Yeah, I mean, some of the tactics were disgusting, but again, that's kind of how they fight in that area. Not to excuse it, but yeah.
No, guerrilla warfare is a thing. I mean, it's worked throughout ages.
Right.
Well, that's the thing. Like what we saw and what we're seeing today is not unusual for warfare. I think the problem is people. And I'm saying problem, but it's not really a problem that people are just not used to what warfare actually means.
Correct.
What is involved. What we saw today is absolutely normal for warfare.
I 100% agree.
Yeah, nothing today that happened is any different than any war that's ever happened.
Especially in any occupied territory. I mean, that's been every single rebellion, uprising, whatever, has always been that way.
Right.
Oh, for sure.
And
war is brutal.
It is. It certainly is. Boys, can you guys? Well, here. Hang on 1 second. All right. So I'm gonna play the Sanctimonious, and then we'll discuss. So.
Up other money. Of course, they're funding Hamas and Hezbollah in big ways, and then some of the stuff left over from Afghanistan has gotten in to Hamas. So that's a total disaster. So this is the equivalent for Israel of probably what happened in the United States in September 11th. This is probably the worst attack Israel's faced since the Yom Kippur War in 1973, and certainly one of the greatest attacks in the history of the modern state of Israel. Funds can't be used, but you can use other funds that may be freed up as a result.
If you were president right now, what exactly would you be doing in this situation?
Well, I think if I were president for when Biden has been, Iran wouldn't be in the position where they are, where they're causing such havoc. You need to put Iran in a box. They're the world's leading state sponsor of terrorism. When I served in Iraq back in 2007, 2008, they were the #1 source of U.S. combat deaths at the time. And we were out with the Sunni Arabs. Everyone was talking about Al-Qaeda in Iraq, and they were a problem. But we had more deaths from the Iranian-backed Shia militias during that time in Iraq. And I think certainly they killed hundreds of Americans, probably over 1,000 at the time. And they've been an arch enemy of this country. Giving them relief does not work. You got to turn the screws on the Iranians and keep them in the box. And I would have done that on day one. Now you're in a situation where Israel is able to defend themselves. They've got a good military. They've got great technology. What they need is the moral support of the United States to say, you defend your country. You defend your people. Defeat these terrorists. Someone just put out a thing from when I was in Congress almost a decade ago, doing a 1-minute speech talking about how Israel, in response to Hamas terrorist attacks at the time, you shouldn't just go and hit them a little bit here. You got to uproot the networks and really eradicate them. I think Israel's always been a situation, anything they do, they get pilloried and then they get blamed. And so a lot of times they don't go as forceful. Now's the time to deal with the problem and uproot these Hamas networks once and for all.
How much aid would you like to see from Israel
He's up on.
Okay, so that was the sanctimonious. Warfare in the truest sense would cause most to rethink their life choices. Absolutely.
Everything is fake news.
Terrorism is violence done to effect change, usually for religious or personal reasons. I think there's the traditional sense of terrorism, and then there's this portion of it where this is more of a conflict than it is straight terrorism. I get what she's saying. I mean, I go back and forth on it. So certainly we can agree. I don't think the numbers are relevant to terror, not terror. The U.S. killed a heck of a lot more ISIS, and they were killed by ISIS, and ISIS are still terrorists. I think terrorist. I'm gonna make a wild comparison, and it'll probably piss some people off, but oh well. Terrorist is like the word Nazi nowadays. Like, it doesn't mean the same thing that it used to be. It's been so diluted and so dumbed down that it doesn't mean what it used to mean. So,
well, I would say that it, having grown up in the time period of this, like, even looking back, it was kind of sort of an embarrassing time for the United States after 9/11 and getting into Iraq and all that. It was just a term. It's a term that existed, but it was a term that was abused, I would say, to get that sort of emotional reaction out of people. Again, like you said, Nazi people use it as an emotional reaction thing. I can kill your argument because I said a word that causes other people to be like, oh, well, I can ignore that person's thought, their ideas, because they're like really bad people that harmed Jewish people or whatever back in the day.
Right.
I mean,
yep.
Yeah, terrorism really needs to be sort of grind down to what it really means. I mean, you go and I can't really describe some of these things, I guess, on YouTube, so I probably should leave that one alone. As like what would be a good example. This one, not so much. I mean, as much as you want to maybe you like Israel, like you said, you like it because of religious purposes. But at the end of the day, they have harmed a people for many, many years, decades. They keep them in this tiny little place.
Millennials.
They have no hope. They have no hope. They can't grow. They have no future. How are you going to expect them to react?
Well, in Gaza, though, they could have grown, but they chose to use the greenhouses as military launch stations.
Well, I mean, we're still talking about like a reaction to something that had already happened.
That's
they're responding in the only way that they can. I mean, it's a really crappy situation either way, but I don't think there's a good guy, bad guy scenario here. The government creates this good guy, bad guy thing because they have an interest there. They have a monetary, political, military benefit of having this idea be the main idea that Americans have, and that's why they push it and so many accept it.
Right. All right, I'm gonna catch up. Excuse me. I'm gonna catch up in chats here just a minute. We can agree to disagree, of course, and
Yes.
I think it's important to have the conversation. It's important to go back and forth, listen to each other, and who knows, you might change your perspective. I certainly have many times, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think that it's important that we have the conversation and at least know what the hell's going on. And my motto has always been the same. We may not agree on everything, but you'll at least know where I'm coming from and where I stand. So I don't hide it. I don't run from my opinion or thoughts on things, but I'm respectful to anybody else. So that has a different opinion. Cowards hide behind civilians. I think it's time for Israel to stop giving warnings before retaliating. I would agree with that as well. Man, I just don't care about DeSantis anymore. He should have waited. He should have waited till 2028. It would have been all his, but he had to get too excited. So, about the U.S. not really knowing where the weapons went after it's Ukraine. After it's in Ukraine. So, Coleman, there was a very interesting reports. The IDF actually recovered a cache of weapons that were U.S. weapons that were left in Afghanistan, and they found them in Gaza this morning. Well, this morning our time. So it's definitely happening. The weapons that we're providing for other places are getting to the battlefield here, for sure. So,
hey, Mighty.
What's up, buddy?
Not to boost another channel, but Angry Cops has a video about that where they're just dumping mines out of a truck in Ukraine. And he's like, oh my God, they're going to go boom. He has a whole video about them just a dump truck full of mines. And they're just dumping them out in front of everybody.
Jeez.
Yes, I know the video he's talking about. So with those specific mines, they just like put them everywhere because I think they have a trigger point of several thousand pounds. I can't remember the exact thing. So the drop is not enough pressure to make them go off.
Right.
No, but if you have one bad one in that whole truck.
that is true.
What's up, Ted? Ghazni Raid, kinda. What's up, Ghazni Raid, kinda?
Hey, Ghazni, if you're here.
The only way they can is raping and killing kids. That's okay. We all knew you're a rainbow, but you're late too. What's up, Beers?
Hey, Beers, you coming into the panel?
He said he would have to work, so if we're still going, so. Yeah. Can you mute in between actually a little bit, Red? Because we're catching up a lot of background noise with you.
How do I do that? Because when I tried to mute, just kicked me out of the stream.
So there's a little microphone above your thing, and like that's mute and that's unmute. So
all I see is stop mic and cam, and if I do that, it kicks me to the waiting room.
Huh. You should see a bottom. Do you see mute, start cam, settings, stop screen, that kind of thing? Nope, that kicked him again. Huh. It says he's still there. We'll work on it and try and get no. Just like I didn't put Ukrainian flags. What's your Rumble? Shit. It's my Rumble. Welcome to this mouse. Welcome to the stage. The great, the one, the only Kaiser Pineapple. What's up, brother?
What up, guys? Hey, boy, what a day, huh?
It's been interesting, that's for sure.
Yeah. Geez, I mean, where do you even start with a fuster cluck like this?
I've been
And,
trying to
I think
get
I've
through
been
it.
I think I've been working off of like 3 hours of sleep because I was the first one to bring it up in the group. We're just like, hey guys, like why are you sleeping on this? Like there's a whole actual happening. So
Yeah.
here we are.
Yeah, he came in at like 2:30 last night, and he's like, just as I'm about to sign off, and he's like, by the way, why are you not covering this? I'm like, I don't know what the hell you're talking
Like,
about.
wait, what?
Oh shit, it's a whole rabbit hole. So, entire rabbit hole. It was pretty insane. So,
Yep.
and I've been
Hey,
going ever
everybody out
since.
there.
So, so yeah. So we'll get to McCarthy real quick. And this is his second interview. This is not the one. He kind of alludes to it, but this isn't the one where he's like, well, if I was still speaker, we would be able to approve funding for, fuck you, McCarthy. But, yeah, this is a short one of an interview.
Was speaking today after this attack with their speaker, Speaker Ohana. This is different. They are telling me this is their Pearl Harbor. You've got to understand, 5,000 missiles are what are overwhelming the Iron Dome. The Iron Dome can only take so many. And then to enter Israel. This has not happened where a foreign has actually controlled land inside Israel since 1948. There are still a number of villages, I believe the latest of 7, where you're having street combat trying to win that land back. But the atrocities that have happened here, the killing of children, the kidnapping of children, of grandparents and others, this is well planned,
What's up, Andy?
and this could
I'm the
not,
pineapple on
Hamas
pizza.
could
I'm
not
the I
go
am
forward
I am what
without
ruins
the
it all.
approval of
Oh God, we're the worst kind of
They would not
pizza.
have the
God damn it.
resources for the missiles, for the weapons.
No, we're not
without
cheese pizza.
Iran.
We're pineapple pizza.
Well, I'm a
It's
little
so
bit
much
confused
better.
about what he just said there because he said there hasn't been since 1948. The only foreign people there in 1948 were the Jewish people who were brought from Europe. The Palestinians were the natives there when they came.
Correct.
So I don't know what he mean. I don't know what he means by that, unless it's like a double meaning type of thing.
Anytime Kevin McCarthy opens his voice, I just kind of automatically just go white noise anyway.
Yeah, that's exactly. I'm trying to pick up what he just said. I didn't. I'm like, I'm glad Cheese did because I didn't.
Yeah.
So,
look,
but
we know why he's in front of a camera right now. He's trying to drum up support and doing a whole poor me, you know, in front of the camera. But I mean, look, I understand this is a very serious topic and that he's probably got a serious take on it. But at the same time, it's like, dude, know when to step back, know when to say now is not a good time to go in front of the camera. But of course, I mean, he's a self-aggrandizing hack, which, you know, sorry, just calling it out. Call a spade, as they say. And, you know, I actually sat here and I was thinking right before I got on, I'm like, I wonder how long it took before the Warhawks started, you know, making overtures and all that kind of stuff. Boy, listening to McCarthy speak, it was like, wow, they didn't even, I don't think the first missile even landed and the Warhawks were already on it.
Oh no, they started almost immediately. Well, the ones that decided to get on it, because we started seeing missiles land. What time is that? Probably 2:30 last night, Cheesy.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, it was.
From what
it was
I'm
really
seeing
early
on
in
the
the morning.
Yeah, and I went live immediately, and then from there, I don't remember. It's been a blur. It feels like it's been about 4 days, but it's only been one. So,
jeez, man.
It is crazy to think that like when this started till now, it's been the same day. It doesn't feel like that. You're absolutely right.
No, it feels like it's been quite some time. So here's something breaking 8 minutes ago. The Israeli embassy in Greece has managed to charter around 20 flights from Athens to Tel Aviv, which will take roughly 5,000 Israeli reservists currently in Greece who have been called to active military service back to Israel to assist with the ongoing war.
5,000.
That's what it says.
Like a normal place for Israelis to go, like
apparently to Athens. So, and then there's an update to it. Israelis are receiving troops and equipment from a number of countries, including the United States, Germany, and the United Kingdom, as well as in the process of organizing additional resources. So that's the word right now. But it looks like people are rolling in. So again, and cheese, you, me, these. You, me, these, and a couple other individuals. Sorry if I forgot you. We were talking about earlier. The only way that this ends quickly, or the only way that this doesn't escalate into a major world conflict, which I think is my primary concern, is if Israel comes in and just annihilates everything living in these territories, the Gaza, the West Bank, and the Palestinian side of Jerusalem. And I don't think people have the appetite for that anymore, but it's the only way to stop this from being a massive conflict.
I don't think it stops there because, I mean, they've been given an ultimatum by several countries, including Saudi Arabia, that if they put boots on ground in Gaza, then they will get involved. So
yeah,
it just escalates it even more.
Yeah. And maybe they're already past that point where they could conceivably, conceivably have kind of nipped this before it even starts. But I still think this is a flashpoint in a global conflict. To involve a world war, but
I sincerely hope that we don't end up with another world war. But I'll be honest with you, if this is what's going to touch it off, I mean, this definitely feels like the most real threat that we've had to that.
Well, yeah, I just find it kind of ironic that for many, many years, like the joke was that people went to like Afghanistan or Iraq to go, quote unquote, die for Israel. But here we are now, and it might actually be the case where we'll have to go again.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And we may, I don't know if you agree, but I think that we have no other option currently than to send troops and equipment and different things.
Yeah, that's kind of my fear right now, is that with their situation, we don't have any choice but to intervene in some fashion or another.
Right.
Which is just, yeah, sorry.
No, go ahead, buddy.
I say, which is just going to just kind of stoke the flames even higher, because we already know who is backing Hamas, Iran, and we already know who is, backing them, Russia, and, it's just a hello 1918, or was it 1914? Does this sound familiar?
Right.
Audio check.
Well, the fun part is, the real question is, if we get involved in Europe like we are still, and then we have to get involved here in the Middle East, that creates the perfect opportunity for China to do what they want. And of course, they would want us to be involved there. And I think that our current military, even if the draft, which they've already essentially approved to be implemented, probably would not be enough. I don't think there's, we're talking about a different time of different people. And I don't think the current American military, even with draftees, would be enough. It'd just be a slaughter. We would be Russia in the 1940s.
Hey, really quick. So I did see Mandy in the chat said, has anybody heard from DUI guy Larry? Apparently he was in Israel on vacation. Yes. I did get some information on that. Let me just go ahead and I'll just clear it up for you. So he was in Tel Aviv when the first rockets were fired, and apparently he was able to finally get onto a flight. He was wheels up as a while ago. He has landed officially in Istanbul. He is okay. He's basically going to be sleeping in the airport overnight, but he is another country away, and he is out of harm's way. He's got a flight that tomorrow at some point going to London, and then he'll be on his way back to the U.S. So he's in good shape.
Yep.
Good.
Awesome.
Hey, Kaiser.
Hey, Fiery Red. It's a good time to actually finally get a chance to stream with you.
Yep.
Sorry, it had to be whenever somebody decided to blow the tits off the world, but whatever.
All right, I'm gonna catch up on chats real quick, and then we'll get back to it. AP, World War III is inevitable. I agree. Unfortunately, yes, the UK is supporting Israel, but that isn't. I don't think
That
that's
doesn't mean a lot.
too crazy. Al Jazeera's headline: Fear of Israel invasion of Gaza. How do you invade your own country? Exactly. Technically, it is Palestine. Fuck off.
The
with
Gaza Strip technically is not Israel.
Israel did secede it. Yep.
that. Gaza, West Bank, and part of Jerusalem. So, but how do you have little bubbles of foreign country in your country? That was never going to work. And whoever thought it was sniffing Biden's hair, I guess. The cloud of smoke over Gaza right now is crazy. It's insane. And they said support only right, nothing specific. Yes. They haven't said anything specific, but yes, support seems to be the moniker of the day. No shit. Were you? Wow. That's what I've been saying the whole time here, AP, is that we're way too spread out at this point.
Yeah.
That's way, way too spread out at this point. So
way too many invaders.
Yeah.
And then you have to trust that the minds, the great minds that created the situation in Afghanistan are the great minds that'll lead the American people and our allies through a world war with formidable enemies potentially.
Oh my God,
that's the situation we're dealing with here. Right?
I was going to say, you're not giving me a whole lot of hope here to not just stick my head between my knees, kiss my ass goodbye, and just say, well, it was good while it lasted, gents. We're fucked.
That's it's almost like you know how to do this. That was a perfect segue. Biden's National Security Advisor, Jake Sullivan, just last week. It's like they're trying.
What we said is we want to depressurize, de-escalate, and ultimately integrate the Middle East region. The war in Yemen is in its 19th month of truce. For now, the Iranian attacks against U.S. forces have stopped. Our presence in Iraq is stable.
Woohoo.
I emphasize for now because all of that can change. And the Middle East region is quieter today than it has been in 2 decades.
Well, it's not anymore. And thank you, Mandy. $5 pizza now with fiery red sauce. This is getting a little hot in here. Like, I might be taking off clothes later.
I'm already without pants.
Maybe you could open a window since it's freaking
You're a good
freezing
man.
outside.
No, fuck that. It's too cold for that.
Look, I've been out running errands all day, absolutely busting my ass. As soon as I was able to sit down, turn off my camera, and fling off the pants, man, and say, it is time to free ball.
Exactly. Usually, it's just been too cold for that. Gave land, they're occupying land. They're literally throwing people out of their homes by force and have people lined up with suitcases ready to take over. I take it Comer is pro-Palestine, which is fine. I still love you. Because I'm not pro either.
I don't think on this subject you don't have to be pro either to understand that situation on the West Bank. It's not the Gaza Strip specifically, but the West Bank, where they're literally just showing up and being like, "Hey, you don't live here anymore, and you got to get out with the military force."
No,
So
I think both of them are garbage. I really do. Both sides have done some pretty horrific and terrible things.
These two sides have been at each other's throats, fighting each other in one form or another for over 2,000 years. Do we really think military intervention in any form whatsoever right now with us is going to change jack shit?
Well,
no,
I really want to know.
Think about it from the historical perspective, where it's kind of messed up because before World War II began, Germany was sending Jewish people to Palestine. It was I know there's this weird argument, and I don't really understand it because on the maps from that time, there was Palestine was listed as I'm losing the word. I'm sorry, but anyway, it was there on the map. They were sending the Jewish people from Germany to Palestine, and
Mhm.
the people there welcomed them with open arms and did everything they could to welcome these people. Then the war started. The Germans were cut off from sending them by groups of people that would be the allied party, but so after the war, that's where they started coming in larger droves, and then they, like, in a weird way, came in with a militaristic manner. Like, they actually came in with guns blazing
Right.
after the British officially gave them a document that stated that this area to this area was what belonged to European Jewish people. Um, but anyway, sorry. I'm like I when you think of that, you just it's a crappy situation, man. Just for people that were very nice to these people that were in need, to like for them to go ahead and do what they did to them. That's regardless of your opinion of the people. That's just it's a really crappy thing to do.
Yeah.
Um,
No, I completely agree. And no, I'm just playing with you, Comer. You know I love you. Um, I I think both sides have great deals of fault in this conflict, and somebody needs to be the adult at the table. Yeah. Well, so Ron, that's been one of my major concerns going into this. Is we've had the same sort of, based on the intelligence and the limited information that we're getting in about people infiltrating Israel from Gaza, we just did the same thing here. There's literally hundreds of thousands that just did the same thing. Is this the game plan here? Is the game plan spread it thin? Have the United States in different areas, fighting these proxy or helping with other conflicts, and then we get invaded like this? I mean, could be.
Well, I sort of like, this is sort of, in a way, it's a false comparison, because the relationship between the United States and Mexico is completely different. You could say that at a certain time between like Texas and Mexico, back in the
What's up, Lynn?
1800s, maybe it would be closer of an example, but yeah, that's a completely different scenario that you would be dealing with.
Yeah.
I have to say, I mean, I think based on kind of what we're seeing right now, like what you were talking about there, Mighty, I honestly think that the global war on terror exposed a major weakness that the United States has. And that is we have a lot of people here with very liberal policies, open borders, all that kind of stuff. And we have a lot of these other countries that are willing to try and do all these horrible things, and then that way they can kind of provoke, poking the bear, so to speak. But at the same time,
Right.
eventually, if we do end up getting involved with, like you said, we would be spread thin, and then we already have like these people that are already in our country. They're already here. They're already, we there are fighting age people from Iran, China, all these other countries that we do not have a good relationship with that are already in our country. And so what's to stop some sort of insurgency from jumping right into the heartland of America? Now,
Right, exactly. Yeah.
I think that one of our greatest, I think honestly, this is a point of contention where I think the Second Amendment is a huge benefit in this case, because, where they won't have supply lines and stuff like that, we would, the civilian population would be able to put up a suitable resistance in that case. And I think that's really the only thing right now that is stopping them from doing that. But I mean, yeah, we've got a serious problem. We've got a porous border. We've got lots of people that are coming over here without any kind of documentation and information, where they're at, where they're going, and they just kind of get let go. left to their own devices, they just disappear into the country, and then we don't see them again. And it's like, okay, how much further we got to go before shit hits the fan?
Right. And we might already be too deep. It might already be there, honestly. All right, I'm gonna address chat real quick. I agree with Dazer. Picks in Discord, or it's not true. You're welcome to, Cheese. I know you wanna talk about it, and you're intelligent and very articulate with it. So go for it, buddy, if you want to.
Sure. So you have to understand the dynamics between Palestine and Mexico. So with the Palestinian people, like I brought up, these people, there's a different dynamic in that these people were forced into this situation. They didn't ask for it. They didn't look for it. We can go into some of the smaller wars that happened in the 60s and all, but we don't have to. But the Mexican people, they're not being oppressed by the American people. They have their own functioning government. The Palestinians don't really have. They can't. Yes, Israel gave them like a couple seats in their government, but that's like giving 10 seats to Mexico in the U.S. Congress. It's not going to make a big difference. They're not going to have a voice in our government.
Oh, that'd be a huge difference for the left.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it would. Yeah, it would definitely mess up some of the majority for sure. But in a way, you don't really have these groups within this. I don't know. We're just going on like caveats. There's not really a group in the Israeli government that is somewhat pro-Palestinian. So you're not going to have any groups that are going to like join up with the couple of seats that they gave to them. So it's, again, this is not a situation that's happening in Mexico. We're not deciding their policy. We don't say what they can and cannot do. We're not stealing Mexicans' land, although I guess they are technically, in a way, stealing it from us. So that brings another caveat. All right, so this is a bit more complex of a scenario. So anyway, I mean, it's not the same situation at all. It's not even remotely the same. So you have
loud.
Sorry.
You have the Mexicans who are not being oppressed by the United States. If they threw rockets into the United States, that would be a problem, right? They have other means. They can put certain sanctions. They can open the border and let in a crap ton of people. They have means of getting their point across, whereas the Palestinian people don't. So they have to resort to violence. And anyway,
it's an interesting dynamic, right? And I think that when you're talking about oppression and you're talking about two groups that don't want each other to exist and having to peacefully coexist, and that isn't the same here with us in Mexico. Like there's a mutual partnership. They're very what's the word I'm looking for? Where the little shark sucks on the big shark and feeds. You know what I'm talking about?
Like a remora. Yeah, that fish.
Yeah. So we need each other. We're good for each other. We need each other. Yes, symbiotic. There you go. Symbiotic relationship where it's not where we hate each other so much that the only thing that we could ever hope for is that we can make one of them not exist. And I think that's a different dynamic. Whereas they're easy, it's the peace that's impossible. And it's the peace that is impossible because we won't talk to people. We won't talk to each other. We'll go in and we'll do all this rhetoric bullshit. And you guys watch with me the United Nations stuff, the debate on Ukraine for the United Nations. All it was is gaslighting bullshit. Everybody got their 5 minutes, talked about how great they were and how bad Russia is, and nothing was ever figured out from that entire hearing. We watched it for what, 7 hours, guys, and nothing ever happened. Nothing ever happened because of it. So we got to get past the rhetoric. We got to sit down. We got to have the uncomfortable conversation. We got to have the conversation that, frankly, a lot of people can't have anymore. I have no problem with it, but a lot of people aren't able to. So,
but my avocado toast.
Exactly. Exactly.
Can I just say that I will never try avocado as long as I live?
I can't eat green. It's
no.
But
green
then
is squishy.
Okay, first I don't like greens, but it's kind of a general rule. But then I heard that apparently avocado tastes like, quote, a clean dick, unquote.
Never heard that, but thanks for ruining it for me.
Now,
I might need to try it now.
Now that I know that, I will never try avocado ever in my life. Sorry about that. Segue.
So,
no, you're good.
So
I'm gonna go ask Wessica right now.
I guess in a way, though, what is being said, I'm trying to think. You pulled it up. I can't see which one it was, but sorry, I'm trying to figure out where I was going with that. So in a way, it's not hugely different from what the Germans were doing in the 30s and 40s. To say what is going on in Israel right now with this situation, what was going on with the Germans in the 1930s, 1940s, you would have to say both are correct. Both actions were correct. Because one can't be wrong and one can't be right. That's where we're at. It's a really complicated situation. It's just unfortunate that Trump was so damn close to resolving it through negotiation. If you recall, I forget, what was it the Abraham? What was the sorry?
Was it the Abraham Accord?
I think it was the Abraham Accord, where he was bringing these countries together. I think Saudi Arabia was open to discussing joining a specific group or union with Israel as long as they granted specific rights to the people of the Gaza Strip, specifically, not necessarily just the West Bank, but the Gaza Strip. And they were close to agreeing, and then we had these other countries that joined and agreed to work together. That all fell apart after Trump left, and probably right, understandably so for them, because they saw that they knew what powers to be caused that to happen. And we can't talk about what happened on YouTube, but we know what happened, and they know what happened, so they didn't trust the people who did it to keep to their promises. So I mean, and now here we are. Long story short, here we are from that decision.
Potato fought corn pop.
Okay, so we're gonna go to. I got a couple short ones. So this is an Israeli ship annihilating another ship, which is always beautiful to see.
Dang.
Yep, that
Fuck
fast
you, may I have another?
Yeah, your tractor's get fucked.
Yep.
Yeet.
Yeet. Oh, jeez.
Yeah, Israel's not playing around anymore. And then we're gonna get to this is recent President Trump. Well, it's a couple hours ago. But this is President Trump addressing it. This is the first time he spoke publicly since the invasion. So
is this only the 30-second clip, or is it the? Because I only saw like a 30-second clip. I was trying to find the whole speech about it.
So this is about a minute and a half. The whole speech was a typical Trump speech. It was about 2 hours. So
okay.
Call me. Anyways.
And we're going to talk about that in a second. But this country is just headed so badly. The Israeli attack was made because we are perceived as being weak and ineffective and with a really weak leader, and we will discuss it in a few minutes. But isn't that a shame what's happening all over the world? Things are not what they were just 3 years ago. You take a look. They weren't ever as good, and now they are really probably maybe the worst we've ever seen in terms of our country. When you look at the Afghanistan pullout, you ever see anything like that? The most embarrassing moment in the history of our country. You need to get every patriot you know and make sure that they're registered. You have to register. And you got to register what are you going to register as a Republican and get them out to vote and go to their local precinct caucus meetings at 7 p.m. on Monday. So it's 7 p.m. on Monday, January 15th, and we're asking you to bring 5 or 6 or 7 or 10 people with you, as many as you can, get them loaded up. And we want to have a big, beautiful send-off because then we have to go to war with the communists, fascists, racists, everything else you can be, Marxists. We're going to war with some very evil people.
Yeah, in more than ways than one. So,
yep.
So he is the king of the grift, and again, I'm not a fan of the grifting on tragedy, but that's how he's going to do it.
And he's not
agree
lying.
with it, right? You can agree with it, and not. I'm voting for Biden in the primary and Trump in the general. That's a good idea. That's what we should all do. Well, Trump might need the votes, so maybe not too many of us should do that. Marxists and some of them grapists. So this is from the Israeli Air Force. So a building containing the offices of leaders of the Hamas terrorist organization that was struck by fighter jets. These are the 4 buildings that they have publicly said that they've completely eliminated. Multi-story building belonging to the leaders of the Hamas terrorist organization that was struck by fighter jets. A building containing the offices used by general security of the Hamas terrorist organization that was struck by fighter jets. And this one's a big one that we've seen video of them completely annihilating in a fraction of a second. A building containing the offices of production headquarters and intelligence headquarters of the Hamas terrorist organization struck by fighter jets. That's directly from the Israeli Air Force. But
well, you can kill the buildings, but if you don't kill the people, it doesn't matter.
True. So there's a lot of other. Man, there is a lot of military equipment on the move in Israel.
Yeah, you see that Twitter post of all the Merkava tanks moving?
Oh yeah. Here we can. I have one.
So the only problem with the Merkava tanks is that just from some videos, they're actually very easy to disable and destroy. So I don't know how capable they'll be against even like the drones that they're using in Ukraine. Like the Palestinians blew up that one tank using a drone and
well, I mean,
a mortar.
Every vehicle and piece of equipment has its limitations and its whatnot. It's just a matter of finding it's a game of find the exploit, I guess you could say, to use the game term.
My point is when you see stuff like this, it's crazy for the people who are taking the video, but it doesn't mean a whole lot holistically, because again, they took one out with a freaking drone earlier today.
Right.
Now they just need to do it 20 more times,
Exactly. Welcome to the stage, our Russian representation. So this guy's from the other side of this argument, but we still love him. What's up, Deez?
Whoa, Deez.
Hey, what's up? How you doing, everybody?
Hello, my friend.
Hello, Deez.
I was going to say, I think the tanks are more kind of going to line up as a wall and just shoot from a distance. I don't think they're going to invade with those ones. They're just setting it up as a deterrent.
Possible.
It's possible. I don't know that they could do that. I mean, the Gaza Strip is so dense that I mean, I wouldn't want to be one of the guys in there going and let them just put it that way. I would not want to be in there going in there. So
Yeah,
I mean, in that case, in two ways they're useless in this scenario, but they're still going. But
right,
we'll see. We'll see what happens.
I'm just some sub-Z-list, guy on YouTube talking head, but so I don't know jack about, Israeli, battle tactics and stuff.
They're cool
I'll just take your
looking.
word on it. I'll take your word on it.
Don't get me wrong. They're really cool looking.
Yeah,
I don't know how effective they're going to be here, other than to be like a big scary thing to people.
Well, and that could be enough of a deterrence. So,
true.
Thank you, Eliza, for the super sticker. It is is that an avocado? It looks like an avocado saying thank you. That's awesome.
No,
I
it's a
appreciate
clean dick.
I'm sure it's a bean.
So I'll play this real quick, and then so here's one of the videos of just lines of tanks, and they could be just simply. Of course, you want to show force. You want to just kind of throw everything out there and say, hey, like we're not fucking around anymore. But I get your point as well. So, this is the other video too.
All on flatbeds, though. It's like that makes them look stupid and incompetent.
There is actually.
Well, I mean, they gotta travel somehow, man. They use up a lot of gas.
Those tanks, diesel, rather. Yeah, they use a lot of fuel. They are usually fairly slow compared to the tractor trailers that can actually pull those. And also, you don't want to be putting a lot of road wear and miles on there that you don't have to, especially when you need it to actually perform in a potential war zone.
Exactly.
So,
you don't want it to lose a track or just fall apart from needing maintenance. And you're like in the middle of some like ghetto. Yeah. That wouldn't be fun.
It's not a pear. That's disinformation and misinformation.
Avocado.
It is an avocado.
Discussed this. Who has the gavel? We'll officially call.
Hear ye. It's an avocado.
Ew, this is
there.
Cringe.
It's been said. It should be in the what is that little bit below the video?
The description.
The description. Just add it. Rule 1, the freaking avocado.
It's not a pear. It's an avocado. Plus, the tank tracks will kill the road. Yeah, that's true too.
Yeah,
it kills infrastructure.
Absolutely.
But they are a lot. They're a lot to keep up. It's a lot of cost to keep up. So I can see why it's not, being used for that. So
definitely.
This is not the 1940s where we expect, tanks to drive hundreds of miles overland to get to an enemy position and fight them there. This is literally a situation where we have the infrastructure to get the tanks to where they need to go without putting as much mileage on them before we get there.
Right.
And like I said, I apologize. I can't see the chat right now, so.
No, don't worry. Good. They are talking mad trash about you, Fiery. It's good that you're not.
Nothing but shit about you. Nothing but shit about you.
Bring it on.
Damn it! I know. I was just going ahead over there, but I don't know. Do you guys know any
SUV type truck vehicle?
A reliable? I guess anything Japanese. I mean, Japanese or Korean are pretty good to go with these days.
I would say honestly, if you're looking for a small SUV, depending on how many kids she says she's got, 3.
Yeah, price wise, too. Hyundais or whatever, they're pretty decently priced compared to other new vehicles. So I would look into Hyundais. I don't remember what the different names are for their vehicles, but I've never met anyone who said that they hated having one of those.
Yeah, Hyundai's got, I believe, the Tucson, which You know, I'll be honest. I mean, they're not bad, but honestly, if you're gonna if you want something that's reliable, it's gonna last you a long time, and it's gonna have a lot better seating amenities and a much better like product availability for parts and service. Go
Yeah.
with a Toyota or a Honda. To be completely honest, I've got both, and I friggin' love them. I have never had to pay. I've paid more. Is like less actually. I should say I have paid less on parts than a lot of the other vehicles that I've had in my days.
I would say avoid German. You
Yes.
know, we
Yeah.
talk a lot about how great their engineering is, but it's not the 1940s or 50s anymore. So
German engineering is good in the short term. It's good to look at. It's fun to go fast for a little bit, but in terms of longevity, they ain't got shit on Japanese.
just think about it. Look at what all these guys in these countries in the deserts are driving, and go with one of those
Toyota Hilux.
I have a Honda.
86 Hilux.
I was going to say, the car I drive now is a 2002 Isuzu. I won't say what brand or what year, or not what year, but what type of vehicle. But 2002, less than 100,000 miles, and it's still kicking great.
Shit, dude, I have 500,000 miles on my Honda, and I love the shit out of it. It's still fine. So
nice.
I sold my 4-wheel drive, 5-speed manual transmission tracker like probably 5-6 years ago. I kick myself every goddamn day for selling that car.
Well, manual is the best anti-theft device ever nowadays.
I know, right? Look, that thing was
Mexicans-
absolutely awful to drive on the highways, but I tell you what, off-road, in the snow, inclement weather, that shit could get down.
I won't lie, Mexican Vader. I've been thinking about that all day. Funny enough, just like, you know, what if they do decide that? Like, what if Americans somehow get involved? Other than, you know, airplanes, I've seen a couple airplanes going throughout the day, but then they decide to do something like that. I don't know. They probably couldn't get away with it these days with pretty much every sailor, military member having a phone. You know, you saw how much footage came out. I mean, if you were awake early enough, a lot of it's, in my opinion, already been censored off the internet. But there was a lot of stuff coming out in the wee hours that are very difficult to find. Funny enough, I just have some friends in some interesting places that were able to send me some that are now gone. But yeah.
Okay, so here's the deal. I'm going to be completely transparent with what I'm doing. I have to take piss, and my wife's yelling at me to do something very, very quickly. So I'm going to start this topic and then let y'all discuss. I'll be listening so I can stay up on the topic. So what realistically comes? What's tomorrow through the next year look like in everybody's opinion?
I mean, if I had to really be honest, it's gonna be determinate on the next, probably, I would say, yeah, like you said, probably the next couple of days. See what happens as far as other countries, U.S. especially, how we do things, because we're gonna really be the ones to set the tempo on this if Israel asks us for help specifically. If that is the case, I do believe that there is going to be a serious problem, like on the international stage, with, you know, us getting involved in places we should not get involved. Frankly, I hate to sound crass, but we need to we need to go back to some of those early 40s policies of staying the hell out of shit. I know that that's a controversial opinion, but you know,
that would be I would say pre 1917, 1918.
Yeah, thereabouts. Say,
but
basically,
that's when we changed our policy almost completely on.
Yeah, we need to stay the fuck out of it. Let's just put it that way. Now, I mean, if it gets to a point where there is a justifiable reason to get involved, that meaning like assets of ours, or there is some legitimate reason that could cause a massive landslide of issues. I mean,
let me ask you this:
we should stay out of it.
I know this is going to be controversial. I want to be the controversial one today. That's why I'm doing it.
Oh, joy. Hit me with your best shot, big boy.
So even if the Israelis ask us to get involved, why should we? When have they ever got involved with stuff that we've done? Like, they didn't join us in Afghanistan.
That is
they never joined us in Iraq.
Understandable. Yeah.
They never got involved in Vietnam, Korea. Well, I mean, we didn't really have a good as quote unquote good of a relationship then, but they never got involved in the Gulf War with us. Like, why are they our greatest ally? They've never helped us with anything. I mean, yes, we exchanged some intelligence, but I mean, there's decent evidence to suggest that they were even possibly involved, but at least knew about 9/11 and never told anybody. Allegedly,
I would say
they knew about it. We know that's true. It's true that they knew about it. Allegedly, they didn't tell anybody about it.
I would say self-preservation is the number one reason, honestly.
Yeah.
It's because Israelis provide to us a lot of intelligence. They have really good intelligence, and US gets that intelligence from them.
Yeah, that is a consideration.
I mean, that's fair. But is it enough to send American people to die for them because they gave us some information?
I think that's going to be contingent on the quality of the information, what information, how much of it, and I guess you could say the implications going forward on that one. I mean, I hate to kind of take a bit of a middle of the road position on that one, but I'll be honest. It's a situation where I think this is going to be one where there's no black and white, just straight up answer. I think this is going to be pretty nuanced. I think this is going to have to be a lot of considerations to what we should do, if anything at all. And I mean, again, my default position is stay the fuck out. But
right. I agree. I don't think this involves us at all.
No.
I mean, it's at the end of the day, it's a religious war between two groups of people that claim that they have a right to a specific land.
And it has been for thousands of years.
Yeah, I think
it's belonged to both. It's belonged to both groups at different times over that amount of time. So, like at the end of the day, this doesn't involve us just because it's modern stuff. I guess I could be supportive of some assistance in the event that multiple groups get involved. But I think that's the intention. I think it's well, for one, I agree with the people who have stated that this was pushed by certain groups to take some attention and some pressure off of Russia and Ukraine, but also to get the U.S. entangled in another thing. I mean, we're already entangled in Africa with certain things.
Yeah,
we've intentionally got ourselves entangled with Ukraine. Here we are and we're just going to a point earlier, and then who knows what happens after that? Maybe China does do the thing that they said they would do. And that's something I don't think I don't have confidence that we could handle.
And
China is a bigger existential threat to us right now than anyone else on the planet. And I mean,
definitely. But
kind of hard to beat in that case.
Well, this was funny actually. I've seen some stuff earlier today, and they're talking about, we this being the Israelis, they're just like, we need to like go in there, completely flatten Gaza, and send this is a quote, all the Arabs to Europe. All right, so why are we scared about these Arabs potentially taking over this land from these people, and say that they could come and attack it? Well, our greatest ally, sending them over here anyway. So like, anyway, we're going in a circle argument here.
Yeah. That's kind of what I was getting at. Is I think that there is no definitive, good answer, bad answer in this situation. There is just literally kind of have to play it by ear. And that's kind of where I was at from the beginning.
I would say it depends on next 24 hours.
Yes, I would agree with that.
A good counter offense by Israel will deter some of the advances, but that good counter offense has to happen. They have to start pushing it. We've taken down buildings, more buildings. Bring old carpet bombing back and stuff.
And the thing is, if they respond too weakly, that will motivate Hezbollah and all them to invade from other fronts, and that will make things 100 times worse.
Yeah.
Well, we've already got confirmation that there are several countries that are going to support the effort to overtake and destroy Israel, and that's the concern with it becoming a global conflict. We've already got support from Iran. We've already got support from as I saw earlier and just posted in Discord. The French are actually leaving several countries in Africa. So,
can I just say, seriously, with Iran, why do we even bother with these fucking people? They hate us as it is. They're just terrible to begin with. They've just had all these problems with their own country. They refuse to just admit that, they suck, for one. And then two, seriously, we could turn them into a fucking parking lot and with not have to use a single, WMD. Let's just use that term. Let's be completely honest. We could absolutely just steamroll over them. The problem is, I don't think that that's a good idea because it's not Iran that's the problem. It's the fact that you've got Russia and then, of course, China and all those other countries standing behind them, propping them up. That's why I think Iran is, still got, the cojones to try and still, sling its dick around.
That and you make them into martyrs. If you do that, you make them into martyrs.
Exactly. And that's the problem.
But I can't agree with that with Iran, because you have to understand that Iran is a mountainous country, and that will not be as easy as it sounds. So they are benefited by geography.
It'll be
and some other things that we can't get into.
It would be a hell of a lot easier to take care of a mountainous fighting force if you just get rid of the fucking mountain.
Well,
yeah, very, very easy.
I was going to say the Christian Yazidis were the ones in the mountains, so they don't hate us.
I think weren't the Yazidis? They were in Syria, right? I don't know if they were in Iran specifically.
I thought they were in Iran too, but maybe I may be wrong.
Okay, so you brought up a point, Kaiser, and I played this earlier, but I'll play it again. So this was at about 4:00. Well, no, it would have been before that. I don't remember. It was like 2:00, something like that. It was earlier today. So this is the Iranian Congress screaming "Death to America, wipe America and Israel off the map." So today.
So I guess we can compare it to 9/11 then.
They're talking a lot of mad shit for people that are within ICBM distance.
That's true. Very true. I'm gonna burn through some chats real quick.
Well, here's the other problem.
Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry. I was gonna say,
go for it.
Iran has close ties to both China and Russia. So you have
Yep.
That's what I mentioned earlier. That's why I was like, look, they would not be swinging their dicks around right now if it wasn't for the fact that they've got much bigger, assholes propping them up.
Oh, of course. Biden already shit his pants and gave $8 billion to Israel. He did. He authorized $8 billion worth of aid earlier today. I wish we had 50 independent countries. Each state or country could choose to support Israel or not. Well, that's the way federalism should have worked, but
I don't want that, though, because my state elected Keith Ellison and Ilhan Omar. Fuck that.
well, you might want to move then. My default is stop sending our tax dollars to any country, not the United States. I agree, and I think we should start worrying about things at home until we can fix our own shit, and then we can worry about others. The situation would be likely Israel retaliates by invading Gaza, Arab nations decide to get involved, and then the whole region could be completely destabilized if Israel is overwhelmed. I think we're already there, and that's my concern.
We're about to be if we're not.
Yep. My default is stop sending taxes to the U.S. government. We should. Remember, Israel is a large economy, and if Israel does decimate the others, it would also be catastrophic. Potentially.
Don't throw stones from glass houses, though.
But hey, I like to partake in a little bit of projectile mineralogy.
I like getting stoned every once in a while. This wouldn't have occurred if Orange Man Bad was in office. Probably wouldn't have. We had the Abraham Accords, and we're really going towards peace in the Middle East.
And the Russia-Ukraine thing wouldn't have happened either.
Correct. Leading to WW3, possible, totally possible. I gave my opinion on that earlier. I think that it's reasonable to believe that we're already in World War III. And World War III, there's never a set date. There's never it only happened on this specific date. It generally. Oh, shit. What's up, Sean?
Hey, guys. How you doing?
Not bad, buddy.
Hey, Sean.
Hello.
Oh.
I can't believe I'm finally on with the legendary Sean.
Well, he's gonna turn his camera on, then I might as well turn mine on too. So, hey, what's up?
Oh, yay. I'm really concerned to hear what Lloyd Austin's going to say. This makes Raytheon stocks go up. Yay.
Right. Sorry, I'm just burning through some chats and then we'll get back to it. If we stop sending money to other country, then how will transgender teams in Papua New Guinea learn proper fisting techniques?
Mm-hmm.
No, I didn't consider that, but China and Russia are still behind us in tech, though. Not as much as you'd think, and China's probably ahead.
They're behind in the application of the technology, but they have the technology.
Yeah. So I still think that this is leading us into a global conflict. This drags us into a global conflict.
Maybe this is. I still think this is more of just Iran trying to destabilize what has been put together with the Abraham Accords.
You think so? Okay.
Do you?
Yeah, I was
because the moment Israel goes into the moment Israel starts turning Gaza into a parking lot, which is very likely an outcome here.
Yeah.
I mean, like for reals. Like they're gonna make parts of Gaza look like the landscape outside of Bakhmut, just like it's gonna look like the moon.
They're leveling everything.
Yes.
But that's what Israel should do. That's the thing. That's their best defense right now. Is going on offense and start leveling.
Sure, but if you go too hard, then the Saudis are no longer your friends. The Jordanians are no longer your friends, and all of that falls apart.
Yeah.
Yep.
$8 billion.
Well, that's I'm losing the word. But that's what was put in place earlier today with Saudi, with Libya, with Iran. It's like the ultimatum is if boots go on ground in Gaza, they will be involved in this situation.
Well, are you talking about Hezbollah?
Well, Hezbollah. Sorry, I didn't mention Hezbollah as well.
The boots are already there. That's the thing.
Yeah, and Hezbollah showing up is kind of like you should assume they're going to show up at some point. Like It's how could they not at this point? If the Israelis are spending all these resources, then it's open season to the north.
Yeah.
And the last time the Israelis went after Hezbollah, they got their asses kicked. So they've got the advantage.
Yeah. So I'm curious to see what the U.S. involvement is going to be here too, because I don't think the United States can get into a place where we're going to put troops and boots on the ground.
We're going to say Slava Israel, and that's going to help. We're going to have blue and white sunflowers. And
shit! Great. Can I order mine now on potentially criminals' website?
Yes, and then then the Truman of Kiev is going to go get forward deployed to Tel Aviv and start broadcasting from there.
I was going to say, is there any live feeds still going? Are they still trying to slam the Iron Dome?
So I've been
overwhelmed
keeping up.
but
yeah.
I mean, with a saturation attack, I mean, you can only get so much.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it's been going on. There's been a lot of like individual strikes throughout the past few hours. A lot of knock on roof stuff.
Yeah. Well, that's still not the biggest thing. The biggest thing are all these death squads roaming around. Like, that is impressive.
That is crazy.
Yeah, I saw some footage earlier today. It's gone now off Twitter, but it was up for a minute because there were Hamas-friendly reporters that were embedded and were like trying to pretend like they're reporting, and they are just filming them hose down neighborhoods.
Wow.
Well, Sean, I compared it to the movie Red Dawn earlier, but in real life, it's crazy.
Oh, it's crazy, and they are cleaning those houses out. They're cordoning a house, they're surrounding it, and then a couple of them are going in. There's guys pulling security. Like, it's like 20, 30, 40 guys doing this in areas. It's really bad, and it's like, there's a lot of military-age males and cartel members and things running around in parts of America that, like, you should learn how to sort yourself out with a stick. It's sometime soon. Might not be a bad idea.
Yeah, what I thought was crazy, honestly, and it shows how advanced the Palestinians have got somehow, is when they cleared the military outposts. When they took, I don't know if they still hold them. I haven't seen any information that
The one base they captured got retaken.
Oh, okay, but them clearing it looked as professional as it gets.
Well, so it also helps when you catch guys with their pants down. You're gonna look like all stars.
That too, yeah.
But I'll still give them credit for doing the air assault with the paragliders and shit. Like,
oh, that was crazy.
Yeah,
fly right under the radar, literally.
Right.
You not expect it. Yeah.
Yeah. It was pretty impressive. They had to have backing from somebody. They had to have backing from
the Iranians support them. That's how this happens. Like, they don't build those rockets. The Iranians give them to them. So
right. And we were talking about earlier that we're talking about 5, maybe even upwards of 10,000 rockets at this point. They don't have the resources for that, or the storage, or
the money.
Right.
Yeah. Well, that's because the Iranians are paying for it, and they got infused with it. They got a big cash infusion. Oh, and Raven saying, is Gaza under the Iron Dome? I mean, pretty much, but the Iron Dome are meant to protect the Israeli settlements and cities. So, I mean, there's only 10 of them in the country. So, yeah, they cover a pretty big area. But also remember, you can fly across Israel in 15 minutes. It is not a very big. It's not very big.
Well, and they keep firing so many, the batteries are running out in the Iron Dome to stop them.
Wow.
And traditionally, when Israel's been launching offensives, when Iron Dome starts running out of supplies, overall they start to curtail operations. So it's going to be interesting if they're going to have to let cities get shelled for a while as they do this.
Yeah.
Do they have any access to, like, CRAMs or anything like that?
I mean, I think they do, but those are still not as good for.
Right. I mean, anything basically to kind of help.
They have some of that stuff. I mean, that's not. They already have all that crap. It's just the missiles work the best as part of the thing, though.
Right.
Because the missiles have range.
And the speed.
speed, guidance, all those fun things, you know.
Yeah. We could give
Did
him
you know?
Patriot. We could give him Patriot missile. Oh wait, we can't do that because we already gave those away.
Yeah, we already shipped all those to Ukraine. So here's the thing that's really pissing me off about this whole situation. So this is the new talking point. So the $6 billion was not U.S. taxpayer dollars. It was in a Qatari bank account.
Mhm.
And one, my ass. Two, this is now you're a
We
Russian
gave them back their
agent,
money.
and
Well, either way, if we gave them back their money, that's still not good.
No,
they're still using that money for what's happening right
Mhm.
now, whether it came from our taxes or a Qatari bank account or from the moon. We still gave them the ability to do this. So
And now you're over the 2-hour mark. So who the fuck trusts Qatar?
Yeah, really.
Well, yes, well, hey, we gave him $6 million. Isn't that a little ironic?
Yeah.
Another show.
Well, I mean, we have a secret CIA. Well, it was secret. Let's put it that way. CIA post there, so we couldn't have trusted them that much.
So this was kind of interesting, and this is the other side. So I don't think either side's blameless in this, like I've stated. But Israel cut off electricity to supply Gaza. But further than that,
They do that a lot.
This is just the Fox News aspect of it. But they intentionally are lighting everything around Gaza just to fuck with the Palestinians. So they cut off their electricity and they're hyper lighting everything around it. I am too. I'm just saying it's all part of this tactic where nobody's blameless in this. They're kind of each pushing at each other. So
yeah.
Why would you light everything around it so they can see you? Fuck.
I think it's just a psychological game.
Yeah.
So. But yeah, I thought that was interesting. I think that there's former Mossad chief has told CNN we had no warning of any kind. It was a total surprise that the war broke out this morning. I find that to be bullshit.
Yeah.
No, I mean the Mossad is very overrated.
Well, I think they're overrated, but you had to hear something about this. This was way too big of an operation to just pop up.
I mean, intelligence failures happen. I mean, think about it. Like 9/11 happened. Like we literally fucking realized it, and we didn't fucking know about it. So
right.
I mean that's the thing. You can't the idea we can't. People you go to McDonald's and they mess up your burger. That's an oopsie poopsie. When you run an intelligence organization and you miss something, that oopsie poopsie's there too. It's just that's a little more of a costlier one. So,
the flight school in Minnesota warned the government about Zachariah Moussaoui.
Yeah, well, I'm just trying to say
do a thing.
I'm just trying to say I don't necessarily subscribe to the idea of well, who's behind this? It's well, it's affecting the Jews, so I don't think the Jews are Jewing themselves, and it's not a conspiracy. It happens sometimes.
Right. No, it absolutely happens. And another quote, this is beyond imagination from our point of view, and we didn't know they had this quality of missiles, and we certainly didn't expect that they would be as effective as they were today. I think that's kind of a key takeaway with today's...
Just they underestimated their enemy.
That's true.
Yeah. Good old Sun Tzu.
To be fair, I mean, for the longest time, they were making their own Qassam rockets, which were kind of ghetto. They kind of worked, but it seems like they got supplied with some high quality, MLRS grad style rockets, and they're finally shooting. They're playing with the Titleist golf balls now, not the range balls.
I was going to say they're playing with the big boys.
I sort of disagree. I kind of there's multiple things that we could say was happening here. They absolutely knew it was going to happen. That
at some point,
no way. They knew it was going to happen. They wanted to take on sort of what happened in Ukraine. They wanted to get that sort of support from the world, being like, "Oh, look, we've got attacked. We didn't see this happening, right?" But
Israel has always been very preemptive to prevent, though.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, though. You know, why would you be so predictive when you're trying to commit essentially ethnic cleansing? It's what's going on here. What has been going on.
They've been doing anti-cleansing there since, Cain was butt fucking a sheep. So
that's
And
true.
they didn't have they haven't, in a way, they haven't had full support of the. I mean, they've had full support from Congress, but I mean, it's been here and there. I don't know. I don't believe for one second they didn't know about it. It makes more sense to me that they knew about it, let it happen. It's not unique where they've let people die to get something they've wanted. We're under this guise of governments care that much about their people to not sacrifice quite a few to achieve what they want. So I don't know. I think that they knew about it. They let it happen.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, I think that there's many dynamics that go into it. Did they know something was coming? Yeah, you would have to, with the amount of stockpile of just missiles alone, rockets alone. We're talking about thousands of rockets. Those don't just slip in without being noticed, in my opinion. So
it's been really quiet for a long time, so they've kind of built their stock up.
yeah, that's true too. They could have been planning this over a long period of time, and that's why it was so effective. But yeah, I mean,
But
I don't know.
Israeli intelligence is some of the best around. So that's kind of a bad way to look at it, just because how they've been previously. For us,
I mean, like I said, though, the last time they went to Lebanon in 2006, the Israelis got fucking annihilated. So
yeah,
the Mossad has a history of being awesome, but are they still that? No, they're probably not. Like I mean, it's. I'm just saying, like, what's the most realistic answer? They just fucked up.
Right.
Yeah, so somewhere in their intelligence they had a big fuck up, but that's not usual for Israel though in their intelligence. The way
Well, I mean,
they've
50
been
years
ran.
ago they had a big fuck up.
Yeah.
Exactly 50 years ago.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. And my whole concern this whole entire time has been what happens next. And my thought is, if Israel didn't put this down immediately, then we were going to get these other nation states and other allies to come in for Palestine, and then you're upping and you're escalating. You said, and I've seen that report as well, that if there's boots on the ground in Gaza, then that would bring them in. So it may just be an inevitability that we are going to bring everybody in, and we're gonna go hard on this thing and see where it ends up. But I don't know. That's my concern, is where does this go from here? I truly don't give a shit about either country. I'd rather keep things here in the States, but and fix some of the problems here. But where does this go from here, and who does it involve, and who does it affect? So,
Well, and there's also the Taliban are asking if they can come in and start. They've been asking around, can we cross through Iran and go join the party?
Oh wow.
Well, the fun part is, if they do, and they probably will allow it, is that they come with billions of dollars of U.S. equipment.
Yes.
So, and they are formidable. We learned that the hard way.
Right.
So,
here's an interesting, and I can't put it on the screen because the first comment has a very terrible picture, but Hamas claims Ukraine sold the weapons the U.S. funded that they used in the attack today against Israel. So,
well, as was, I got to find the DoD Inspector General reports, but they point out that a couple of these shipments were never accounted for, weren't properly done, and Ukrainian military, because the brigade is there, they don't have divisions, they have brigades.
Right.
Everything from the brigade level on down is done on hand receipt. So literally, you just sign like on a piece of paper, the paper trail, allegedly. And yeah, I'm sure nothing slipped through the cracks.
Right.
I'll be right back, guys.
Yeah, no worries. So here's fire's popped out again. So here's another one that's interesting because we did see the report as well that the IDF uncovered a cache of weapons that were U.S. weapons that were left in Afghanistan that showed up in Gaza. So we know that as well. But this is interesting. Recent Israeli forces are now heading to the northern border with Lebanon, likely in preparation for any possible aggression by Hezbollah or preparing for a possible attack against Hezbollah or Palestinian militants in Lebanon.
That's a smart play.
It is smart. It's going to be important to reinforce those borders and push everybody out and keep all the external parties out of this conflict. So.
Yes. Oh, so have you guys heard about this chick that was at the they had a peace festival next to the border fence, and they fucking broke through the fence right there and they kidnapped this woman.
Oh yeah, yep,
yeah,
yep.
Oh
we
shit!
showed that.
Oh, they're rolling hard. Oh, it's gonna be. I do like the fact they also opened up their armories and said, "Hey, come get your guns and go kill people." It's like. If only we could short circuited that a step or two.
Yeah. I don't know. They seem to be doing a lot that's going to. Hang on, sorry, I'm trying to. Yeah, I just brought that up, Jason. But thank you for passing it along, buddy. Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be interesting to see what moves next. So they're cutting off supplies, they're cutting off electricity, everything to Gaza, but I feel like this is going to move past Gaza, and hopefully their intelligence has enough foresight and doesn't do an oopsie again, and can stop this next wave of attack, because I think that would be important. So,
Does Lebanon have any S-300s?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Syria has S-300s and 400s. Well, not really, because the Israelis, they did once they got F-35s, there's a picture of them flying over literally maybe 10 miles off the coast of Beirut at 30,000 feet in broad daylight. And they did that to show we're doing this because you can't target us. And the Israelis have launched raids into Syria, and Syria has a Syrian SAM site could probably cover the entire area. I mean, the S-300 and 400 have massive range, so
this is from inside that rave, and you can see them in the background just paratrooping in. It's got music, so I don't want to fuck with that. But
okay.
See all the they just popped into this festival and started taking hostages.
Well, it's like South Park. It's like, wow, those ROTC guys are way off course.
Oh shit.
Also, I do have a post. I think it's important. We need to.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. Very, very important, guys. The U.S. military is deploying forces to the area. The USS Liberty has been deployed.
Oh shit! Here we go again.
Oh, did we already talk about that?
No.
Yeah.
No, you kind of, but
a little bit.
The U.S. Liberty is being deployed. Godspeed to our sailors.
We didn't know. We didn't know it was the Americans.
Oh no, that's terrible. Funny but terrible. So, so another thing that we touched on, Sean, and I'm sure you have great input in this one. What do you think of Biden's very powerful press conference? That 3-minute and 4-second fucking bullshit.
I don't know. I didn't see it. I just know that last night when I was up to 6 watching the shit go down. Oh, Laser Pig got mad at me. Aw, he responded. Do you guys know who Laser Pig is?
No.
Oh, he's a toolbox on YouTube.
Oh,
I'm trolling him on Twitter, and he responded. It's like, oh my god, he responded. It's like he got big mad. And so
no, sad. I just know you're just plain money on everything and funny shit. So it's probably worth it if you're saying it's worth it. So.
Oh, they took down their post. Oh my God, they took down. So the U.S. Palestinian Affairs Group, they put up a thing, and oh God, I wish I would have fucking archived it now.
You're talking about the Twitter response that they sent out saying that
Last night, yeah.
Yeah, that we hope the Israel doesn't respond to this.
Yes, we hope everybody seeks peace now and no retaliation.
Yeah,
Oh,
I saw that earlier.
Did you see that they're projecting the Israeli flag on the Berlin Gate?
Yes,
For
so
real?
brave. Which,
Wow.
That's you know,
The
it's like that Rob
imagery's kind
Thomas
of
song.
strange.
Let's see how far we've come. It's like
Right.
Holy shit! There might be
that's the NC
support for Israel.
That's what happens when you defeat all the Command and Conquer games.
Right. The stunning and brave might be too much for me this time
Well, no,
around, but
that's what happens when you find out who's really running the Brotherhood of Nod.
so I
Kane
think
was a
this is
puppet too.
I think this
and
one's
Sean?
worth. Yeah. Go ahead, bud.
Oh, I was gonna say those ROTC guys are way off base was a line from Red Dawn that South Park ripped off.
I don't remember. I don't remember saying the ROTC guy part, the teacher, but I just remember Mr.
Oh, you
Garrison
did.
saying it.
You
Okay.
just said it a few minutes ago. Sorry.
Ah,
Yeah, he had to pop out. He's been having some
okay.
issues with StreamYard, so
let me see.
but this
hold
is
on.
this is worth
Somebody said
watching
it may have
again.
been
Oh,
archived.
sorry.
No, that tweet may have been archived. I'm going to try to retrieve it. See if I can.
Oh, okay. Yeah, AP said check the archive. Might still be there. It's worth watching again because I didn't understand a fucking word he said the first go around. So we'll listen to Biden again. Why not?
Oh God, it's a potato.
Good afternoon. Today, the people of Israel are
Lincoln's
under
like, hey
attack,
guys, you want to hear a song?
orchestrated by a terrorist organization, Hamas. In this moment of tragedy, I want to say to them and to the world and to terrorists everywhere that the United States stands with Israel. We will not ever fail to have their back. We'll make sure that they have the help their citizens need and they can continue to defend themselves.
See what I said earlier? Blinken is moving because he's grabbing the podium. He thought his ass was about to fall. I swear.
Yeah. You know what though? You know what that means? We're going to help them defend themselves. You know, all that we're giving away our weapons to Ukraine, best money ever spent. It's like, okay, now we're going to get, what else are we going to give? What are we giving Israel now? Well, we got to give them Jew fellers everything they need too. It's like, what are we going to have? Are you some sort of Nazi faggot who likes Russia? Like, no, I like to be able to fight China. You don't need bombs and missiles to fight China. It's going to be out with boats. Are you some sort of retard?
Mighty has the Nazi clip.
It's great though because we send them all the weapons, we send them all the ammunition, and all we get in return is a bit more inflation. So
Yeah.
lucky us.
Money's worth a little bit less. So
Yes.
all right.
Well,
You know, the world's seen appalling images. Thousands of rockets in the space of hours raining down on Israeli cities. I got up this morning, started this at 7:30, 8 o'clock, my calls. Hamas terrorists crossing in Israel, killing not only Israeli
7:30, 8 o'clock, it had been going for like
Israeli
6 or 7 hours
civilians.
at that point.
That's what I said earlier when we watched it. I'm like, fuck, I already covered it 3 times.
Yep.
By the time
Nobody
you woke up.
nobody decided to wake him up and say, "Hey, boss, it's going." Like Hamas is trying for the high score right now. Like this is it.
That's a major issue. Like, how the fuck do you not wake up the U.S. president to tell him
Hamas
that
is
things are going on?
Hamas is spamming all their special weapons. We need to get up. It's time.
Right.
I want your sleeping medication, goddammit.
Well, he just takes some kind of chrome stuff to stay awake. He doesn't actually have sleeping meds. Sleeping is just his natural state. He just takes that adrenaline for, to stay awake. So
In the street, in their homes, innocent people murdered, wounded, entire families taken hostage by Hamas. Just days after Israel marked the holiest of days in the Jewish calendar. It's unconscionable. You know, when I spoke with Prime Minister Netanyahu this morning, I told him the United States stands with the people of Israel in the face of these terrorist assaults.
I just want to say, Purim isn't the holiest of Jewish days of holiday.
Yes.
There's never justification for terrorist attacks. And my administration's support for Israel's security is rock solid and unwavering. Let me say this as clearly as I can. This is not a moment for any party hostile to Israel to exploit these attacks to seek advantage. The world is watching. I've also been in contact with the King of Jordan, spoken with members of Congress, directed my national security team to engage with their Israeli counterparts, military to military, intelligence to intelligence, diplomat to diplomat, to make sure Israel has what it needs. I've also directed my team to remain in constant contact with leaders throughout the region.
My son Hunter is out there snorting coke with the best of them now.
Saudi Arabia, Jordan, Oman, the UAE, as well as our European partners and the Palestinian Authority. It's also a terrible tragedy on a human level. It's hurting innocent people. Seeing the lives that have been broken by this, the families torn apart, it's heartbreaking. And Jill and I are praying for those families who've been impacted by this violence. We grieve with those who lost their loved ones, lost the peace of their soul. We have hope for swift recovery for many who have been wounded. We're going to remain in close touch with Prime Minister. I personally am going to remain in close contact with Prime Minister Netanyahu as this situation continues to develop.
Even though he's a right-wing Nazi,
Let there be
Joe?
no mistake. The United States stands with the state of Israel. Just as we have from the moment the United States became the first nation to recognize Israel 11 minutes after its founding 75 years ago.
I can't understand what he's
Mr.
saying.
President, was there an intelligence failure in the lead up to this attack? Mr. President, can you tell us what the BBC asked you?
Huh?
Specifically for support?
And he's gone.
999. I think that they put those blinds up there in case he like fucking eats it in the doorway.
That would be great to see. I say this why Blinken was up there.
Well, yeah, but it's also, yes, it's intelligence failure on the entire Western world to not know anything about this. But in the meantime, they've been too busy putting fucking, Ukrainian flags all over their offices to and they call the Russians are orcs and masturbating to drone footage, and they're like,
right.
Wait, the rest of the world's fighting?
Right. Yep.
Salami ukulele. That's the magic word. It's like Harry Potter. You must chant the secret incantations.
Yeah.
And if you do that and you wear the sacred cape of maize and blue, you shall be undefeatable.
Salami likum, likum salami.
Did you just say maize? God.
That's what me and Mighty do.
I thought the one thing I could count on you in is hating the University of Michigan, and you just
Why would I?
You just go maize and blue on my fucking stream.
I've liked Michigan since I was a little kid, and
you're so gross.
I lived in the Cleveland area most of my life, and then when I moved up to Toledo, when I went to when I was at Bowling Green from my undergrad, and I went to Toledo for law school, it was nice because you were near Toledo or Michigan people, and then the best tickets I ever got for a Michigan game is when Toledo went up there and played them, and Toledo beat them, which was kind of fun. I was a little torn, but it worked. And then I took a job down at Southern Ohio. Oh my God, I felt like I was, Paul walking through the land of people that he hasn't converted yet, because holy shit, it was just Ohio State everywhere. It was bad.
Go green. But
Go what?
Go green. I'm a Spartan, Sean.
Oh, okay.
I'm in Southeast Michigan. I'm probably close as shit to you. I just don't know.
Not anymore. I'm in Cleveland, so it's that you're not really close.
Oh, okay.
You're close to Joel Dolio.
Oh.
Tactical wisdom.
Huh. Normally play. Anyways, I'm trying to. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That was gross. That's something I didn't need to ever know. Ever. I would have been happy not knowing that, but.
Sorry, Ohio State is. I can't do it.
Well, green and white. I mean, we're good people.
No, not Spartans. No, especially after 300 Spartans. What is your profession? Oh, it's like okay, like no,
Oh,
you guys ripped
shit.
that off. The cringe.
We did rip
bust.
that off. We
Yeah.
did rip that off.
The cringe mobile.
Spartan!
Let's play it. The movie's dope.
But hang
Oh,
on.
we're not gonna play it. Aw.
Oh, you want me to play it?
Spartans! What is your profession?
Yeah, see?
I had my own little part to it. So
Yeah, just
Go white.
you ripped it off.
White.
I absolutely did rip
Yes.
it off. But I'm okay with
going
that.
white, go white. Are you sure you could say that nowadays?
Cancel.
The craziest thing is when you go up to like,
whitest trophy ever, Paul Bunyan's axe.
it is. But like when you're wearing your Spartan hat and you know, we have you'll have a nice black lady say go green and you're like go white. Did you just bait me into something? It's funny. But
Paul Bunyan,
but yeah.
We got to bring Minnesota into this.
No, fuck Minnesota. U.S. recently lifted visa requirements for Israelis. Huh.
It won't matter. It's all paid for.
Let me see what else we got. I do love mainly Spartans, but so yeah, that's probably going to be close to it for us tonight, gentlemen. I appreciate everybody hanging out. I just wanted to kind of go a little deeper into the other side and what people thought, and the 4th Armored Division and 7th Infantry of the Syrian Army have been placed into state of combat readiness and are moving towards the Israeli border.
Ooh.
So you have others that are going to get into it. So I'm calling it now. But yeah.
It's coming. So I mean, it's a reunion from the past 20 years. You know,
It is. It's just people trying to get together and love Israel. But
love is a bomb.
To be fair, I'm and there's only one side I trust not to bulldoze the Church of the Holy Sepulchre at this point, and I'm willing to deal with them running around for now.
Yeah,
maybe they'll finally take down the Alaska Mosque because rebuild the temple.
Yeah, I thought they already started rebuilding the temple, didn't they?
Well, no, you have to remove the Alaska Mosque to rebuild the temple.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, that's the only way that's happening. Although, let's speedrun this shit. Let's go.
I'm game. Fuck this show at this point. Let's just run that way.
We'll catch Jesus with his pants down. He'll be like sitting there smoking a cigarette, like, fuck, that's almost ready yet.
That's in fairness. If they try to tear down that mosque, what's to stop the billion Muslims from actually jihading at a level we've never seen before?
Nuclear weapons.
I don't think that. I don't honestly. When it comes to religion and ideas, I don't think they would care very much about nuclear weapons at that.
No, point. I know that's great because the Israelis won't hesitate and they will just glass everything they can.
I find it hilarious that we're laughing about this.
Well, I mean, sometimes there's got to be levity in life.
I was gonna say, what else can you do?
Right.
Well, before people duck out, Sean, it's awesome streaming with you. Nice to meet you. Kaiser, it's good to finally be on a stream with you. Everyone else, you're cool. Thanks again, Mighty, for the invite.
Yeah, no problem, brother. So, anybody have anything to show? I mean, I know Cheese doesn't. Deez is our Russian spy. I mean, Russian citizen. Sorry, shit, wrong way. But yeah, Cheesy.
Oh, you are.
Yeah, Deez is Russian. So
Okay.
yeah.
Well,
yeah.
May Vladimir Putin bathe in the blood of every Ukrainian woman and child at this point.
He's not paying attention anymore.
Okay.
So.
Well.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Well.
But,
Yes. Well, I mean, D's. Hopefully, you don't get mobilized, but if you do, may you help make Eastern Europe Ukrainian free.
That's going to be very hard for them to mobilize him from.
He's in America now, but he was born in Russia.
Oh,
and he's
okay.
A dually. So yeah, but he
Raven, it's tongue in cheek. Okay.
Right. Right.
I mean, a little bit. I mean, so we got rid of all the Ukrainians, and we wouldn't have mail order brides. So
that's very true. See, now he's going to he's going to tell Zelensky on us. Shit,
I was going to say he's reporting us right now.
Oh boy. No, I love Deez. He's a good guy, but oh shit, he's back. You didn't tell Uncle Zelensky, did you?
No.
Oh.
Oh no! That's exactly what a spy would say. I better not have the SVB knocking on my door tomorrow. There's an SFB.
All right.
Excuse me.
I was waiting for Deez to say something, but he's just gonna laugh funnily. Pineapple, you got anything to shill, brother? One of those things. Fuck Kaiser, he lost his spot. Sean, thanks for coming on, buddy.
Right now, I'm working on Johnny Somali's and how bad he screwed.
Oh,
going
okay.
forward. Yeah, I'm working with Meme Copium about that.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. Huh.
Yeah, he's gonna have. If you guys have never seen it, there used to be a TV show called Locked Up Abroad, and there's a American guy who got caught and went to Japan with a pound of hash, and he had to do like 2 years in prison. And Japanese prisons, like, they feed you and everything, but it's not, if you like, the biggest thing is if you don't speak Japanese, well, you remember Guard Hadley in Shawshank? It kind of happens. Like you get your ass kicked a lot.
And gotta find that South Park clip with Cartman and Stan in Japanese prison.
So what you're saying is that they serve grapes.
Yep.
Yes. Just like American prison. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining me on the panel. Thank you for your opinions and hanging out. I want to end this terrific show with what you guys are fighting for.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yes. She's pissing on the floor. She doesn't want to get up.
It depends what casino that's at, because if that's in Atlantic City, that would make. It's at the Tropicana in DC. I can see that.
I don't know where the fuck it's at, but it's gross. That's what you're fighting for.
Too mighty. Tomorrow the sound panels are getting done. Wednesday they'll be painted. So within a week and a half, my studio will be done.
Oh, cool, man. Cool. So, but all right, y'all. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for hanging out, and we will catch you guys on the next one. Clinton body count tomorrow, Rumble exclusive. So that's what we got coming up.
Thank you, channel. Thank you, chat.
Love you, chat.
Love you all.
Goodbye.